Good evening and welcome to these Div 2 upper bracket finals between Too Young to Math and Multiplex. Joined here tonight with Fozzlm and Brodogs on the camera. How are you, Fozzlm?
Yeah, doing pretty well. Excited for what will hopefully be like a really close match between these two teams.
Yeah, it should be indeed. And the maps tonight are, I believe, I have them here, Process, Snake, and Badlands as a decider. Now, I know these two teams face off early in the season on Process. The score was 5-2 to Multiplex, but I mean, that was round 2, and so many things will have changed since then, so it'll be really interesting to see how they face up again now.
Yeah, in fact, one of the biggest changes is actually in favor of Too Young to Math, with the addition of probably one of the best pockets in Div 2. Some questioned if he should be in 2, but it's none other than B25.
AKA Roit, yeah.
Yeah, so speaking of that, I'll just quickly go down the Too Young roster. We have DY and QQ on Scouts, Rob on Roma, B25 on Pocket, Move on Demo, and Alex on Medic.
And on Multiplex, we have Namie and Dauk on Scouts. We have Kitsune, aka Rocketeer, on Roma, Jiho on Pocket, Uga on Demo, and Darbs on Medic.
Yeah, so two incredibly strong rosters, obviously, as they both made it to the second upper bracket final in quite convincing sets against their opponents.
Yeah, I mean, both of these teams had a really strong season. I mean, Multiplex went undefeated during the main season, and Too Young to Math had one loss to Multiplex, and then one draw. Can't remember who the draw was to, but either way, it was still very good seasons from both of them, ending up in first and second places respectively. So, should be a really good game tonight.
Yeah, playing against them, like, it's really apparent how dominant both these teams are. I mean, just the coordination for their, for who's on their roster, it's definitely some of the best I've seen in a while. And so, as I said before, this game is probably going to be really close. Hopefully, definitely one of the better games than what we've casted previously. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if it does end up going to the decider.
Yeah, it could definitely be a really close game. Obviously, not going to be, if it goes to the decider, not going to be as long as previous seasons, which is a little bit of a relief to me as a caster, but should still be looking for a long and close game tonight.
Definitely. We just got a message here from Brodogs saying Enrith is sick. So there seems to be a bit of roster issues, not issues, but a bit of a swap around last minute with Multiplex. But honestly,
well, I thought that was Enrith was being replaced by Kitsune, aka Rocketeer. So yeah, that's all accounted for in our roster readout here.
Yes, okay, I realized the mistake I made. So yeah, shouldn't play any part of an issue at all, because as I said earlier, all of these players are just incredible. Obviously, why they made it this far into the our two brackets.
Yeah, I mean, we're loading into the server now. We've got 6 ins. There's still a little bit of time before this gets off. But I mean, Snakewater, pretty good map, really strong map for demos and scouts in particular. I found. How do you reckon the demos will face off against each other, Uga and Moop?
That's a tough one. I've watched both of the finals games that these two teams have played respectively, and both demos have just done outstanding work. So I'm going to find it really hard to separate them. And honestly, I think most of all it's going to come down to the scouts actually of both teams.
So I know originally originally the scouts are going to be Namie and Fanatical, but tonight we have Namie and Dork.
Yep.
And then obviously on Too Young to Math it's Dai and QQ. How do you reckon they would face off against each other?
I'm going to give the edge, even with Fanatical out of the roster, I'm going to give the edge slightly to Multiplex. Just seeing how Namie plays and playing against him, he is an absolutely incredible scout and equally so on sniper as well. So that's nothing to take away from the scouts of Too Young. They're both incredible. But yeah, I'm going to give the edge slightly to Multiplex here. But moving on.
Moving on. Moving on. I was going to say, so then obviously, as you said earlier, we've got, Pockets, Royd and Jiho. Royd is an absolute monster in that pocket. There's no denying that. I think it's not about who's in the win, but more about how much counter pressure Jiho can put on, knowing that how dominant Royd is going to be, attempting to be. He's, spectacular, and Jiho really going to have to play a really, really good game tonight to match that.
Yeah, definitely. I was looking, just taking a gander at the stats for the last final match of Too Young, and just seeing what Roy did. Obviously his stats don't tell the whole picture, but he was clearly the most dominant player in the server by a decent margin. So yeah, you're right. It's going to be interesting to see how Jiho plays up to that, especially because one thing I noticed, a slight difference is they seem to be taking very different sort of levels of heals. Of what I've noticed, Roy can be quite heal centric, while Jiho, from what I've seen in previous matches, is not as much. It generally goes to scouts and demo a bit more, which I definitely think plays into the hands of Multiplex with the overall game style.
And then so we got the Roamers, Rob and Rocketeer / Kitsune. That's a bit, I guess, harder to call. Has Rocketeer played any games in the season for Multiplex, or is this his first one in the official matches?
Not to my knowledge, he hasn't. I think I've seen him in scrims now and again, but I couldn't say for sure if he's played in an official. But Yeah, it's gonna make me trying to describe the Roma matchups a bit harder, but just previous knowledge of these two Romas, again, both I would say pretty evenly skilled. I wouldn't say there's like a massive gap between them.
Personally, I think I'd put Rob slightly ahead.
Okay.
Just I feel his DM's it better. That being said, Rocketeer has played for a long time, so he does have some experience there.
Yeah,
we'll
definitely.
see. We'll see. I guess how it pans out, and then finally we've got Alex and Darbs on Medic.
Yeah.
Who out of those two, who do you reckon probably got the most the most kind of knowledge? That sort of stuff.
Gonna probably have to say Darbs, maybe. Yeah, I'd probably give him the edge slightly over Santa. Taking again nothing away from any of these players, but I just feel Darbs has a bit more sort of experience on his side. And from what I've seen, just the way he plays around his team, they all mesh together really well.
Yeah.
Just give this favor slightly for Multiplex.
Yeah, I mean we have 11 players in the server now, just waiting on Jiho, I believe.
No, he is here.
No?
Yep, he's in the server.
Is he bad?
No, he's Jiho.
Oh, I'm
He's
looking at the wrong
named
team. I'm looking at the wrong team. So it'll be who are we waiting for then? Is it Rob? No, Rob's here. I don't even know who I'm missing. Regardless, we're missing one player.
So hopefully we should go live any second now. But I guess in the meantime, do you want to go quick? No, here we go. Do you want to just do a quick overview of what you think Preds might be for this match?
Look, I mean, it's really tough to call. I guess they haven't played each other in officials in a while, so it's kind of hard to tell, especially with the changes that Too Young to Math have come with. Throughout the season. I'm going to give Multiplex a 2-1 win overall, I reckon, over the course of the night. But I reckon the maps will be close. I'm thinking maybe like a... We're starting with Snake, so maybe 5-4 to Too Young to Math on this map, and maybe like 5-4, 5-3 on the following maps to Multiplex.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I think it's overall the sets are going to be 2-1 in favor of Multiplex. I'm going to give Snakewater in advantage of Too Young, just by maybe 4-3. I think it'll be a bit of a slow match.
True.
Then I think Multiplex will have the advantage on the others in probably just a 5-4, 5-4 manner. I doubt we'll be seeing a mercy rule come into play.
No, yeah, I actually just kind of forgot that it was the 30-minute rule as opposed to the previous halves where it was much more likely to see a 5-something scoreline. So yeah, it's entirely possible that it won't go all the way, especially on maps like Process and Snakewater, where they can get a bit stalematey, particularly at the last points.
Yeah, if anyone actually caught Multiplex's last match on Snakewater against GG, there was a lot of stalematey heavy players in general, so I honestly wouldn't be surprised if we see that come out a fair bit this match.
We actually have all 12 in the server right now, just waiting for the proper config to be executed, and then we will be going live quite shortly, I would assume.
Fantastic. Yeah, it just looks like the config was loaded just then, so it should be going live any second now. Let's quickly take a peek at live logs and see 90 seconds into the future.
Yeah, actually, one thing I didn't ask about. What do you think of in terms of all classes, particular outstanding snipers or anything on either of these teams, or?
Yeah, I'd definitely put the onus on Namie, probably playing sniper. Again, when I casted their upper bracket match against GG, he got to a point where I think it was on like 200 ping and ran almost perma sniper for Process, but he was doing a ridiculous amount of work for his team. So again, that's probably something we're going to see carried over here. For Too Young, I'm not too sure who their dominant sniper will be. Do you have any thoughts on that?
I know Dai used to snipe a bunch back when I don't know anything about QQ, so I couldn't comment on him. But I know Dai used to snipe a bunch back when I played with him in Div 2, like 9, I think it was. So I wouldn't be surprised if he can pull out. He's definitely competent on the class. So
yeah. I do expect a fair bit of off-classing, actually. I mean, these teams are, I'd say, definitely... obviously, they're probably going to run, like, the standard 6v6. You're not probably going to see Highlander shenanigans that much, but... yeah, I think when it comes down to it, they definitely won't be afraid to pull out, like, the sniper or the heavy, just to sort of play mind games. And I believe I just heard one team ready up, so... we should be going to this first mid-fight any second now. At least, hopefully.
Well, that's really interesting. I've got a nice little bug that's causing my Australian weapons to show up as silver.
Fantastic.
I haven't seen that one before, I gotta say. They've outdone themselves.
Well, what can you expect? Like, it's Team Fortress 2, you never know what you're gonna see next. But, again, just waiting for one of these teams to ready up, and I believe I just heard it then, possibly? Or maybe
there's the GLHF, so it looks like we are going live.
Fantastic. Who are you going to watch on this first rollout?
I always start with the demo, so I'll watch Uga at the very start.
I'll stay on his cam too.
Alright, so both demos look to be getting there at a pretty similar time. Move a little bit behind Uga. Takes about one sticky. Rob going for a nice quick jump into enemy kitchen. I should maybe see if he can cause a distraction there. Yo, there we go, jumping right over top onto the combo, gets so much damage onto Darbs, can't quite finish him off though. Douk manages to pick up Rob, but Moop and Roy managing to get the return frags. So they've got their player advantage here. Roy and QQ getting another two. Massive mid so far by Too Young to Math. I mean, only one player left, it's Douk. He's getting chased down by two scouts. There we go, complete team wipe here for Multiplex. And Too Young to Math coming out on top. Really heavily.
Incredible mid-fight. You saw that early bomb in for Dave and didn't quite be able to like get the kills, but he just made so much space for their team. Like they were just forced onto lower, and everything just went downhill from there. And as I said, we're already getting ready to go from a scout, possibly demo Uber from lower, but no, they do decide to start moving to Shutter, and the Uber comes out. It's going on die, and no kills as of yet. They haven't even focused down the sentry gun. It does go down now. No other kills, but as I say, that Jaiho and Kitsune